All right, this is the final video in the interval series for this unit. And in this video, we're looking at the minor seventh, major seventh, and the perfect octave. Sevenths are quite wide intervals and, in my opinion, somewhat dissonant. But that kind of makes them easier to distinguish than things like sixths and fifths and all that kind of stuff. Really, the seconds and the sevenths for me are a lot easier. I hope that you find it to be the same for you. But if not, that's okay. It's just something that you need to practice and be trained how to distinguish. Minor seventh, 10 half steps. We're almost to 12, right? Because 12 is the octave. Or this is also equal to 5 whole steps. And when it's written on the staff, you have to be separated by 5 letters. If A is 1, we've got to get all the way up to 7, which would be a G. You can also conversely go with the octave and subtract 1. So A up to A would be the octave. You can go back 1 to G. If we start on C, we're going to have to move up 10 half steps or spaces on that ladder for minor seventh. The new ladder is 2 octaves, so you don't have to jump from A to A, but just make sure you count carefully. It brings us to an A sharp or a B flat. Well, we have to make sure we use the proper interval to make it a minor seventh, which we would have to use B flat. And you can really see how this creates a complementary interval of a major second, right? Because from C down to B flat, well, there's 2 half steps or a whole step. So the complement of a minor seventh is a major second. On the piano keyboard, if we start all the way over at C and we jump up to our B flat, that's what it's going to look like, pretty wide. And we can get that complementary interval again by going from B flat up to C. On the staff, you can see that these are both line notes from C on this ledger line up to B flat. And then, so you're going to be all on the lines, or if this were a space note, you'd have to be up 3 spaces from that. And then here's the sound of the minor seventh. A major seventh, of course, is a half step wider than a minor seventh, equal to 5 whole steps and 1 half step. When it's written on the staff, you have to use the proper lettering. And just remember, this is 1 half step away from the octave, and also tends to lead up to the octave note because it's so close to it, and that octave is just such a perfect interval. When we start on C and we move up all of those half steps, it's going to bring us all the way to a B natural. And again, there's our complement of a half step just below C. Right? So on the piano keyboard, all the way on the left, there's C. We jump up to B, very wide, and we're really close to the next door neighbor of that octave C. Written on the staff, of course, we've removed our flat to go from C to B natural, and here's that sound. And you can hear that there's quite a bit of dissonance there because our ears are telling it it's almost an octave, but not quite. A perfect eighth or a perfect octave, right? 8 notes, 8 tones there. 12 half steps or 6 whole steps. Any letter up to the next occurrence of that letter, of course. C to C. And on the staff, looks like that. And we know this sound very well. Extremely consonant. I would argue the most consonant sound you can get, other than a unison, of course. So your minor seventh, 10 half steps, complemented by the major second, the major seventh, complemented by the minor second, and an octave, just 1 note plus 12 half steps, all the way up to the top.